Hello everyone, and thank you for watching this video that I'm making today. I appreciate you being here. Today I wanted to talk about, I'm going to put my notes up closer because I need this. Forging connections with your area. So as much as I say, I'm trying to devote things to urban witchcraft and just practicing witchcraft in the city, and how different that can be from living in the country. This really should be, you know, utilized in any practice, whether you live in the country or in the city or in the suburbs, just whatever. And really that's everything that I'll be talking about this year can be applied anywhere. I feel like what I'm talking about right now can kind of be a little more impactful on people who live in the city, just because resources to connect with your area and like have elaborate gardens or space around your home to really connect to uh, nature and just the ebb and flow of the area itself can be very limiting. So, yeah, this hopefully will help that not be so limiting. But it's applicable. You can apply it anywhere. So, anyway. Oh, hello, Mercury retrograde. Don't I love you? Anyway, so why is this important? So why is this important to your practice? Why would you find this interesting? For me, connecting to your local area is extremely important for a lot of reasons. For one thing, I feel like right now especially we're on the verge of a big change. Of course, the world, everything changes all the time, but there are moments in history that you can pinpoint that had huge ripple effects, on the future generations. And I kind of feel like we're in that time period right now, especially with climate change and everything that's going on across the globe, really. We're kind of in the middle of a huge turning point. It's going to go one way or the other. So connecting with your local area, I think, is more important than ever. Working with your environment instead of inflicting your will on your environment, and a lot of times I feel like there's a hard to tell line there. We talk about magic being, forcing our will upon the environment. And when you really look at that, or at least for me, when I really look at that sentence, I don't really like it. I don't like the idea of, oh, it stinks. So I know my cat is so interested in what I'm doing, and I've got his favorite spot occupied with my camera. I don't like that idea. I don't like the way that's worded sometimes. I feel like we would benefit more by working with the environment to enact our will, flowing with the energy and the ebb and flow of the spirits in the area where we currently have our feet planted works so much better, and so collaborating with your environment has, I don't know, just a better effect overall for everyone included, instead of like a compromise. In a compromise, everybody on all sides loses something. But with a collaboration, everybody benefits, everybody gains. So I feel like working with local lores and legends, finding out about local spirits, understanding what grows and was evolved, the plants and the trees and the animals that literally evolved in your area, and getting to know them better and working with them is just so much more powerful and so much easier. You really get a better understanding of why the environment feels the way it does spiritually, energetically, and how you can work with that. So these are just a few ideas of how you can find these things out, get access to this information, and apply it to your craft. So one of the first things, so I know I've talked about this before, y'all. So, so this is going to be repeat information, but getting to know your city parks. The city I live in has about 16 to 17,000 people, something like that. We have 11 city parks. So, I mean, it's also a place where it was the first oil boom town, so I feel like they're trying to compensate for all the environmental damage they've done throughout the history of this town, and I mean, it doesn't really, but they do have 11 city parks, so, and an arboretum, which is basically a tree garden. And they plant all native trees to this area, and they'll have like a butterfly garden there, and it's all local flowers, so you can really get to know like the native flora and fauna that occur here naturally, and it's really fascinating. So, and I'm sure that your city has places. They might not have an arboretum, but I'm sure they have city parks, where you can go and get away from the craziness of the concrete jungle and really connect with nature. And it can be a relief, it can be a place that is sacred to you. So, and most of your city parks have some kind of connection to some local event or person in the history of that town. So, and they all usually have like some kind of plaque that'll tell you about it. I mean, okay, not all of them, but a lot of them do. And so you can also find out, like, is this park named after a good person? Are they a friendly spirit? Do they haunt this place? I mean, most of the time that you have monuments, named after people, if there are people that have passed, there's guaranteed to be a ghost story involved somewhere. Like, I promise you. So, is this a spirit you want maybe to align yourself with? Is this a spirit you might want to work with, seek out, or is it a spirit that you may want to give offerings so they stay the hell over there? It depends on the situation. So, yeah. Check out your local city parks, your state parks, your national parks. You will find them full of information about all kinds of things that are important to your area and things that have a significant, energetic effect on your area. If there is a healing spring in your area, that's going to, have a significant impact on the energy in that area. So check it out. It might be something that you can work with. It may be something that you want to appease just enough so you can avoid it. So who knows? It just, depends on your area. Local museums are a lot of fun. You can find out a lot of this information at local museums. Y'all, all the little towns around here have a local museum. I don't know. Maybe it's a southern thing. I don't really think so, though. But, I mean, I could be wrong. But yeah, all the little towns around here have local museums, and they are a hoot, okay? For one thing, they are very rarely visited, except for maybe by classrooms on occasion. So they get really excited when new people show up, and you hear all the stuff. And there's always something in that museum that is weird or strange. Ghost stories, strange oddity type stories are the stories everybody loves, right? So you can find out a lot of the crazy shit that went down in your local area. And a local museum, your local library is the same. I guarantee you, if something weird happened, or if there's some kind of significant event happening in your town at one point in history, somebody local wrote a book about it, and like 5 people have read it. Okay. And you're going to find a lot of really cool stuff that you may not have known. And sometimes it's not so cool. Sometimes it's horrible. Sometimes you find out that a hospital was built over a slave graveyard, and that's why maybe people don't get the best, don't recover the best in that hospital. So yeah, sometimes it's not the best thing in the world to find out, but you can find these things out, and you can either work with those energies, and maybe even work to heal those energies in your environment and make your environment a better place. I really feel like we should consider what our effect on our environment is for future generations? Are we leaving something better? Are we leaving it the same? Are we leaving it worse? You know, whenever I take these kinds of things in consideration, I feel like whenever I work with the energy and consider it, you know, and not just a taker, because I feel like in the past I've been mostly a taker when it comes to my magic, you know, and practice. Whenever it's an equal give and take, when there's, you know, balance to it, it works better. Things just work out better. Sticks, stop it. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, it's my cat. Sorry. He just is not going to leave me alone this morning. So, yeah, your local library can point you in all kinds of directions for history about your area. You know, find the librarian that has been working there the longest, and, you know, if you let them, they will tell you about all kinds of stuff. So, and it's always, to me, very fascinating, you know, and I just love it. You know, it's part of history. So, your local extension office. Okay, so I don't know about other countries, but in the United States, every county has an extension office. That extension office is full of people that are going to help you with your soil. They will test your soil for free. You have to collect the samples, but they'll send it off, and they will tell you all about your soil, if it's good, if it's bad, what it needs to be better. They will tell you which you know, type of vegetable grows best in your area, which type of flowers, you know, if a certain strain of tomatoes does better in your area than other strains. They will seriously level up your gardening game. No matter what you like to grow, flowers, trees, you know, plants, vegetables, whatever. They will help you out. Like, and again, it's one of those things that not a lot of people utilize, that your taxes already paid for, so you don't have to pay anything extra, you know, to benefit, and they're full of information, and they will tell you everything you need to know, you know, about growing things, and that kind of information just makes you a better gardener, a better grower. You know, and you know what you can put that's native to your region that will thrive. You know, a lot of problems we have is a lot of people will bring in plants from outside the region, and they'll be invasive, and it will cause all kind of problems because they just don't know what is native and how it will affect the local ecosystem. So if you want to have a more fluid and more beneficial impact on your environment when you plant any kind of plant, talk to your local extension office. They will tell you, and they will give you all kinds of advice. They have pamphlets, all kinds of things, y'all. Seriously, they are just chock full of information. So reach out to them. You know, find out what does best, and you know, you learn so much about the energy in the land, and the way the weather patterns affect the area, and just you build this connection and really get to know where you're at and what works and what doesn't work. You know, what is beneficial and what can hurt the environment. And to me, that extends in our practice, because the energy that we put out, that we want to change our environment and impact our environment, if it works with the energy that's already flowing, it's going to get where it needs to go really fast. Where if not, then, you know, it might take a long time to get there. So your spells work better. They work faster. Energy travels the path of least resistance. So things flow better. And to me, it just changes my whole perspective of where I'm at, how, you know, I can benefit the area, how it can benefit me, and how we both can thrive without going through a lot of stumbling blocks and making a lot of mistakes or potential enemies, so spirits. You know, whenever I know what I'm dealing with, when I understand the way the area has been influenced by human interaction and spirit interaction, and what is sacred and what thrives and what doesn't, places of power that people are just drawn to. You know, it all is so impactful on how my energy, my magic, my spells go out into the world, and how they are impacted by the environment around me. So I really do encourage you to go out and really take a look at stuff like this. You know, explore the legends, find out what weird creatures people have seen in your area. Is there a Bigfoot-like creature in your area? There's one in mine. In Falk, Arkansas, we have the Falk monster. We have fairies and gnomes lore. We have like a Jersey Devil kind of lore in Washita Forest. There's some kind of weird creature wandering around there that hurts people. But also, I think it has a few legends where it helped people. So I guess it just depends on the person you are. Who knows? But it didn't seem to have any real rhyme or reason. But it was still interesting, you know. And fairy legends, you know, are all over the place. Little people legend, you know, legends. All kinds of hauntings, you know, wailing women, hitchhikers on the highway that are actually ghosts that people pick up in certain areas, certain roads you travel around here. You know, old Farmer Joe that if you're, you know, who died because the bank took his land, and if you appeal to him in a way, he'll help you save your farm. There's all kinds of legends like that around everywhere. I haven't lived in a place yet that didn't have some local lore attached to it that involved all kinds of different beings, you know. So check into that, find out, you know, are these things you can work with? Are these things that you can maybe help heal? Are these spirits and energies that you might need to ward yourself against, you know, and keep out? So yeah, just take a look and explore and find out, you know, about your local area and make those connections. You know, they help you feel like you belong, and I don't know, they just give you or at least for me, they just give you a bigger sense of community. Even if I don't have like personal connections in the community, which I mean I do, but you know, if I just moved, I mean I did just move here, but if I just moved to this area, this entire area, you know, it can feel really lonely. You don't have those personal connections, but you can still have connections with the local area, you know, through the legends and spirits and lore and vegetation, you know, and things like that. So get out there, explore, find out. Figure out what makes your area uniquely your area, and see how you can work with that. You can build an entire practice around local everything if that's what you wanted to do. So anyway, y'all, that's it. I wanted to remind you that I have a tarot special right now. It's a Mercury retrograde. I said it, see? Tarot special, $25 for a 5-card reading sent via email. I will link that below so you can click on that and get all the details that you need. If you're interested, if you would like to support me through coffee, which is like a one-time donation, basically you buy me a virtual coffee. Y'all, it's a cheap coffee. It's $3. But it does help me, you know, free up time and be able to do what I do for y'all and make videos and blog posts and things like that. So if you would like to support me, that link will be down there. And I think that's it for now, guys. If you have any suggestions of videos you'd like me to do, you know, comment, tell me, let me know. I promise I'll listen. So yeah, I think that's it. So y'all have a very blessed Friday and stay in your magic, witches. Bye.